Welcome back to my channel, Custom Scrapbook Design by Christy Steps, and welcome back to my Scrapping Saturday series. We are on week 7 of that, and yet again I am participating in the Satmorn Makes hosted by Jillian Norwood. Be sure to check out all of the designers and creators who are partaking in that, and you can find them by using the hashtag #SatmornMakes. So let's get started on our Scrappin Saturday layout. I am using the Simple Stories Simple Vintage Winter Woods collection again, and I do have a bit of an idea in mind. This is basically what I've got left after last week's video and layout, and this week if you watched me last week, you know I absolutely love this page, so I have decided I'm going to just do a 1-page 12 by 12 layout. We're going to use this page, we're going to use this Barnwood page, it is the Frosty Friends, and this one is the Snow Day. So I'm just going to go ahead and move all of this extra stuff to the side. Who knows, we may end up using some of that. And then I also, since we're just doing a 12 by 12 spread, I am going to just use 2 4x6 photos, and I'm going to mat them in the white again like I did last week, and they'll show up here a little bit better once we get started and you see what it is I'm actually going to do with the layout. So first off, I'm going to start by fussy cutting around this because I want to utilize that on the layout. I want it to have a little more dimension than it has just on this page. So I'm going to go ahead and fussy cut that out. Okay, so I've got that fussy cut and I went ahead and inked it as well. And then I'm not going to hook it down here. I kind of just wanted to see how that's going to look on there and make sure that that's where I want to use that. Or maybe I want to use it on this snowflake page instead. And I actually like the way that it looks on this piece just a little bit better. So I think I'm going to change direction already. And we're going to go ahead and put that on there. And then I'm going to grab a doily. The paper, the cutout here has got this lace doily. And I'm thinking maybe we might even kind of mimic that a little bit down here. But I'm going to want to ink the edges of that too so that it will pop off of there, off the page just a little bit better. And I'm not going to ink all of it because we're not going to see all of that underneath there. So we'll just ink a little bit. And then I think I'm going to put this up on some foam tape, and we're going to slide that right there. And then we've got room for the 2 photo mats. And I feel like we need just a little something more done to the page. I'm trying to do kind of a real simple and fast layout this time, just to kind of, do a few faster pages. I tend to spend a lot of time on my pages, and I want to come up with something a little bit easier this time around. I'm gonna grab some foam tape so that we can put that up, and a bottle of glue. I always like to in addition to using the foam tape, I always like to just run a little bit of glue with it, just to make sure that it is actually going to stay in the long run. I get my foam tape at a lot of different places, and I have found occasionally it doesn't have as great of an adhesive on it as some of the others do, and I'm not sure which one I have here. So we're going to go ahead and add a strip right along that outer edge. And glue that down. I thought if I used that thin strip, I could go all the way across, but I still couldn't quite go all the way with that one. So instead of the thin stuff, now this time, I'm gonna run a couple long strips here. And I'm sure you can find foam tape wider too. I just don't happen to have any on hand. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm just gonna run several pieces because I don't want this to fall flat either, like in between the foam tape. So I'm using quite a bit of tape to actually lift this up. And then I'm going to run a short little one right there to make sure that stays up. And then maybe just a short little piece here as well. Okay. So that's going to lift that up. And I'm going to put this doily down first, just because I won't, since I've got so much foam tape, I'm not really going to be able to tuck much under there later on. So we could just actually cut this in half. Maybe we'll end up using the other half still. And I would like that to come out right in there. So I'm going to leave that sitting there and then just kind of lightly glue that doily. A little heavier on this side. It doesn't matter if it squeezes out, just because it'll be tucked underneath here. So right about there looks good. Do we need any lace anywhere else? You know what? We're going to go ahead and tuck that one up there too. So I'll finish inking the rest of the way around this. And go ahead and use this other piece. All right. So we're going to just tuck that one right up there. I'm going to do the same thing and just lightly glue that down. It doesn't take much to hold the doily in place. And I think that looks good there. Now we're good to go ahead and adhere down this cut apart. And again, sorry for the furnace in the background. It has been rather cold here lately. Last night when I went to bed, it was 27 below. So my heater out here in my room has been kicking on a lot. But it's a little bit noisy in the background. So we'll get the rest of this up. Not being very cooperative. I'm trying to hurry it along, I think a little too fast. Slow down. All right. And again, you can see how this is kind of yellowed, so I maybe have had this in my stash for a while. I'm just going to run a light bead of glue that will ensure that it's going to stay down permanently. Won't have any issues down the road. All right, and it looks like I better cut that branding strip off here too before I get too much further and this doesn't fit under the cutter. So we're going to grab the cutter. Always cut your branding strip off before you start. It makes life a whole lot easier. Okay. So we've got that. We've got some little dimension here. We've got a little more texture with the doilies there. We've got our two 4x6 photos that are going to fit. And we might just tuck those a little bit. Maybe we'll tuck the one under the doily here just a little bit. I like to offset everything. Put that one over top of that doily. We're going to go ahead and hook those down. This page isn't going to be super fancy, but it is going to hold two 4x6 photos very nicely. And the mats here are actually 4 1/4 by 6 1/4, so there will be no trimming necessary of the photo. And let's see, I don't have all my tools on my desk either. Once again, I'm lifting and moving. It looks like I got that just a little bit crooked. And it could be that I cut it crooked, but I'm kind of trying to place the distance from the photo mat to the top of the page about the same as it is at the bottom of the page. And I am just doing that by eyeballing it. And because they're offset, this distance obviously is not going to be the same. So this says it's a snowy day here. Let's see what stickers we want to add to it, or foam stickers to add a little bit more dimension. And I think we might just go with this wintry. And I'm just going to set it here. I'm not actually going to push that down until we decide on everything that we want. And I think I showed you guys last week that a lot of times with my foam sticker sheets, I'll actually just cut around everything so that I can preview my page and see exactly where it is I want to place everything before I actually hook it down and end up having to pull it back up. So got a lot of these foam stickers are going to work really nice on this page. Add that one down there. And before I get too carried away with the foam stickers, I'm going to pull that sticker sheet in and see what we've got on there. Now with these, you have, you know, I don't have the ability necessarily to just set things in place as much as I do with the foam stickers, but I have been known just to kind of pull them out and look at them to see. I think we're going to actually layer on top of that with a little more of the snowflake and the bird. And you want to remember when you're scrapbooking to always document basically the who, what, where, why, and when of your photos, so that you know, when your albums get passed down generations, nobody has to be around to actually tell the story. Your scrapbook should do that. So that's where the importance of journaling really comes into play when you're doing your layout. And I haven't left a lot of room. You know, there'll be a little space here, so you can do they could do some journaling there. See, and now that's stuck. I'm going to go ahead. I also like to add just a touch of glue to my stickers, just to make sure they're going to stay. Now the placement right there. The thing with that though is once you've placed it down, it's down. So that is that is there to stay. Hopefully I'm good with that, because I do like to move my stuff around. I have a hard time like settling on my decision. The world changes when it snows. Boy, isn't that the truth. We're going to add that up there. We've got so much fun here. What else do we have here? Nope, I think I'll stick with that one. And then I'm going to grab a little bit of twine and a button. I think I want to add just another little layer of dimension here. So I'll be right back with that. Okay, I've got a small selection of buttons here. And of course, if you know me, you also know pink is by far my favorite color. And I've got this pretty pink button, and I kind of like the pop of pink that it adds to it. And then I've got a little bit of my jute twine here. I think that we will go ahead and run some of that through the button and tie a little bow. You could just tie a bow and stick it on top too, but this will, by doing it this way, it'll help secure it. In case your glue ever pops loose, you know, holding that twine to the button. This way you won't lose that. You're kind of stuck with it there. So we'll feed that little bit through, tie a little bow on top. And there. Okay, so let's go ahead and stick the rest of this stuff down. We got this other foam sticker here. And then we've got the world changes when it snows. And I want to ink the edges of that up. Just going to use a dot of glue again. Just going to tuck that right up there. And then I've got the Snow Much Fun foam sticker. I'm going to put at the bottom, put a little line of glue along there. And I don't know if I want to add this one for sure. Let's take one more look at what I've got left in here. Better put that button down. And I'm going to use a glue dot for that. That seems to work good at holding buttons down. They're always a challenge, I feel like, to glue down or use any other adhesive on, but glue dots have always worked for me anyway. So we've got our button. And still think we'll add that one. So I'll go ahead and ink that. Don't want anything to fall on my page, so I'll use my little mat. I hope you guys are enjoying this Saturday series. I'm sure I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying scrapbooking. My life is kind of crazy busy with other things right now, and I'm not finding a lot of time or any time to do that. So the fact that I have committed to this Scrappin Saturday series has actually been a blessing, because I really, truly, my heart lies in scrapbooking. So it forces me to make sure and scrapbook at least once a week with you guys. And I hope that you're finding some sort of inspiration, motivation to do some of your own scrapbooking, and maybe even some layout tips or tricks. I'm kind of the queen at fixing mistakes. I say there's not a mistake in scrapbooking. Anything and everything turns into an opportunity to create something a little bit different. So I never really call it a mistake, unless of course you put everything upside down and have to rip it back up. And I have had to do that in the past too. So, I mean, if there's something that can go wrong with it, it's probably happened to me at one point or time in my career of scrapbooking. So it's a fairly simple page. I think it's done. I think if we mess around anymore with it, we're just going to mess it up. So I feel like it's got a good balance. You can tuck your picture right under here. Let me see if I've got a scrap. I'll take this piece of ephemera and just tuck it under there to show you. Your picture will be matted really nicely, just like that under there. So I think that looks good. I say that, and then we're going to add a heart, because who doesn't love a heart? Gotta have. I can never just give it up. I've always got to add one more thing. Okay, that's it. So thank you for sticking with me. This was a pretty brief one this Saturday. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to check out all the other designers with the Satmorn Makes, hashtag Satmorn Makes. There's lots of wonderful stuff out there. The inspiration and imagination of all of the creators is amazing. And I just want to thank Jillian Norwood for hosting that open collaboration. And it's fun to be a part of that. And I'm really glad you've stuck with me. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would absolutely love it if you would. And all of the items listed or that I used in my layout today will be listed below and linked to my website. I appreciate all of your support. I hope you have a fabulous Saturday and find some time to create yourself. Bye for now.